Verse of the day, 2 Corinthians 10, verse 5. We destroy every argument and every lofty opinion about the knowledge of God. We take every thought captive to obey Christ. What does that mean to you? Well, to the average Christian, it means that we need to debate and argue and prove our point and be superior in our knowledge. And to most Christians that get themselves into this predicament, it tends to backfire. Why does it backfire? Well, because most Christians come at it with emotions, and they tend to let those emotions override them. Kind of like getting into a debate about politics. We tend to think that our opinion is the only one that should count, and when others don't share our views or our opinions, it angers us, and then our emotions get heavy, and then we say things that, have no place in the conversation. We make a fool out of ourselves, and it does nobody any good. So how should we do it? Well, we should have a good biblically based knowledge first, and the Bible makes that clear, that we should, before we engage in conversation, we should be of sober mind, first of all. And second of all, we should be able to, fight our way out of a wet paper sack. We should be able to have the biblical knowledge that it takes to combat the views that these people are trying to bring up. But the big thing is not only, the biggest thing is coming at it biblically, but we also need to come at it with grace and love. And that's something that most Christians are missing out on these days. If somebody doesn't share our opinion, like I said, it angers us. And so we don't come at it very well. And then that just widens the gap between that person and God. And it strengthens their view of Christian hypocrisy. And a lot of people, you come out with these arguments, they almost tend to be well versed in their argument, enough so that they make you look kind of goofy. And then you stumble over your words and you don't know what to say. And that's why the Bible makes it clear that not everybody's supposed to be a pastor. Not everybody's supposed to lead a flock. And there's good reasons for it. Some people can't handle adversity. Some people can't handle being second-guessed or being debated. And when somebody comes up with a pretty good argument to combat your view on the Bible and what Scripture says, some people tend to get flustered. And when you get flustered, like we talked about before, you let your emotions lead you. And when your emotions lead you, the Bible's not leading you. And when the Bible's not leading you, you get lost. So, 2 Corinthians 10:5. We are to defeat and destroy these arguments. We are to combat these anti-biblical opinions on God. It's our job as disciples. We're supposed to go out and we're supposed to teach and we're supposed to lead. But if you don't have a firm foundation, if you don't have the right footing, you will get swept right off your feet. It happens every single day, all across this world. And as I alluded to before, it destroys the walk that somebody's potentially taking. And then we just bounce right back down that hypocritical Christian viewpoint. And this is a very wide spectrum that I'm speaking on. all the way down to homosexuality, abortion, religion, politics, everything. If you don't come at it right, then you're coming at it wrong. And I want to debate some of these things with you. I want to get into some of these things with you, some of these topics. But I wanted to iron out this initial video first, because how you come at things is super important. Coming at it, you can have an opinion about, let's say, abortion, for instance. You can have that opinion that it's wrong and that it's murder and whatever. But if you lead with your emotions, then you cannot relate to that person at all. And chances are they feel the way that they feel for a certain reason. Chances are they're not coming at it trying to be necessarily argumentative, and they're not coming at it necessarily to be a bad person, to appear to be a bad person. And they're really set on their ways for a reason, because they feel that it's right. And so their emotions are involved. And if you come at it with your emotions and you combat their emotions with your emotions, I promise you, because I've tried it, I've seen it firsthand, you'll get nowhere. Instead, you have to come at it with, like I said, love and grace and mercy and understanding, and try to, as hard as it is, try to relate to that person. You don't have to agree to relate. You don't have to agree to understand where they're coming from and why they feel the way that they do. And then you can start creating a healthy dialogue with that person once you've come to the understanding, once you've come to understand why they feel the way that they do. I've babbled on and on and on, so I'm going to get off here. Long story short, we need to, if we're going to combat other people and we're going to debate the existence or the mercy of God with other people, we have to have a firm foundation. If we don't, it'll crumble, and then we just look like hypocrites. Love you guys. Have a good night.